Hi, so my name is Amy Lucero and I'm a student of National University and a student of social work. And so I will be going over case study number 2 for MSW 6006. I am going over a case study that reads, your agency was just awarded a large grant to expand services to formerly incarcerated women. The agency employs members of this community as outreach workers. During the weekly staff meeting, the outreach workers, formerly incarcerated women, collectively state they feel unseen, unheard, and unsupported by other agency staff and refuse to discuss the grant funding. Other staff members appear surprised by this information. As a new agency director, you were hired 3 months ago. You must address this group conflict quickly to prevent further negative intergroup dynamics. As you have settled into your leadership role, it has become very apparent the agency staff in leadership roles are white, while the case managers on frontline staff are predominantly people of color. For this specific case study, I reflect on my past experience and working in facilitated group meetings. And so I think it's important to immediately acknowledge and listen to what the outreach workers are saying. And so what I mean by immediately acknowledge and listen is being able to facilitate an open dialogue with both the outreach workers and leadership. And this can be done through a one-on-one supervision or through a facilitated group meeting. And so during both of those, it's important to what happens in both of those, it allows everyone to feel listened to and allows everybody to have a chance to speak. However, during the group facilitated meetings, it's important to lay down ground rules, which can be created by those participating. And it's also important to have a neutral facilitator. And so this helps to keep the conversation balanced. Monitoring after the meeting is also important. Monitoring and evaluating the process with regular check-ins, but most importantly with a scheduled follow-up is so important because this allows everybody again to have a chance to feel listened to and have a chance to speak in regards to like progress or any concerns, and it allows leadership also to collect feedback through like surveys or focus groups, and also to be able to collect or assess the effectiveness of any implemented changes. And it also allows to be able to speak on any kind of team building activities or opportunities. So some of the questions that were asked for this specific case study were what might be the reasons why the members are in disagreement or conflict. So there can be many reasons for disagreement and or conflict in this specific case. Some of the reasons for this can include cultural and racial tensions, specifically because most of the leadership is white, and the outreach workers, they're of primarily color. And so the other reasons are lack of representation and voice communication gaps, power dynamics and hierarchy, and organizational culture in the workplace. And so outreach workers and leaders may not be working on the same level, and therefore all of the reasons could be why there are many members in disagreement or in conflict. So the question number 2 asks, to address the conflict, what type of conflict resolution approach would you use and why? So using a collaborative conflict resolution approach is beneficial because it emphasizes open communication, mutual understanding, and shared decision making. So like I mentioned before, having an open dialogue is important. This approach supports the needs and concerns of both leadership and the outreach workers in order to foster a sense of inclusion and respect. So facilitating that one-on-one supervision or the group meetings are a great way of supporting everyone involved. That way everyone has that opportunity to speak or to be listened to. I did want to add also that note-taking is a great way of displaying that what our workers or everyone involved is sharing is being acknowledged as well. What type of leadership style would be most effective in addressing this conflict? So for this one, I chose transformational leadership style as the most effective in this situation. This style focuses on inspiring and motivating team members. It also fosters an inclusive and empowering work environment and supports driving positive organizational change. For this specific case study, the outreach workers are wanting to be included and empowered by their lived experience and not so much by an academic and institutional capacity. So they feel like they are not being seen. What are 2 ways that you could integrate the code of ethics in your leadership to address the issues in the case study? So the ethical principle that I chose, the first one is social workers respect the inherent dignity and worth of the person. So promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion in all agency practices involves creating policies and programs that actively support and elevate marginalized groups. The second one is the ethical principle that says social workers recognize the central importance of human relationships. And so understanding that relationships between and among people are an important vehicle for change. And so engaging people as partners and not in hierarchy or leadership roles is in an effort to promote, restore, maintain, and enhance the well-being of individuals, families, social groups, and organizations and communities is important for a cohesive relationship between people and a strength-based approach. So that is my reflection of this case study number 2 between the outreach workers and their leadership. Thank you.